Listen, this is for you. No beating around the bush, no stalling. The life you are living now as it is this really what you want? Be honest. You don't need to answer me, but answer yourself. Do you feel like you are where you should be, or is something missing? That feeling that days go by and you haven't moved forward. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So I'll be clear. No one is going to change this for you. There is no perfect moment, no miraculous help. There's you and what you decide to do from now on. It's uncomfortable to hear this, I know, but it's true. How much longer are you going to wait? A month? A year? What are you waiting for to take action? Because the truth is, time doesn't wait. It only moves forward, and you know that. Maybe you're thinking that you've tried before and it didn't work. So what? Everyone fails. The difference is who gets up and keeps moving. You have a choice now, at this very moment. Stay where you are or take the first step. You don't need to know how everything will happen. You just need to start. Today, now, no excuses. If you're still here, if you're still listening to this, it's because something inside you knows that it needs to change, that you can't keep pushing things off or pretending everything is fine. And it's okay to admit that, you know? No one lives their entire life getting everything right. Mistakes are part of it, stumbling is normal. The problem starts when you accept that as a permanent state. When you give up trying, do you know what's worse than failing? It's not trying. It's spending days thinking about what could have been, what you could have done, what you let slip away. And let me tell you, nobody has time to waste. Do you think you do? You don't. Because each passing day is a chance that won't come back. It's another piece of your life left behind. This may be hard to hear, but it's real. And sometimes what we need is a push in the right direction. So here's my push. Stop waiting. You might be there thinking you don't know where to start, that things are complicated, that life doesn't make it easy. That's okay. You don't need to have everything planned out. You don't need to be sure of anything. What you need is to stop overthinking and take action. It's to start even without knowing if you're ready. Because the truth is, no one is. No one starts with all the answers. The answers appear along the way, but only to those who have the courage to take the first step. And when I say courage, I'm not talking about being fearless. I'm talking about taking action even with fear. The fear will be there. It always has been. It's not going away, but it doesn't have to stop you either. You don't need guarantees, you need attitude. So, what's the next step? Because let me tell you something that no one likes to admit. There is no magic formula. There's no hidden secret that will solve everything for you. The secret is to act. It's to decide. It's to believe that even with everything against you, you can turn the game around. Maybe you think too much time has passed, that it's no longer worth trying. Listen, that's just an excuse. Time passes anyway. If you stay still, 5 years from now, you'll look back and regret not having started today. So tell me, what's holding you back? Is it fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes? Or is it that habit of always putting things off, thinking that tomorrow will be easier? Spoiler, it won't. Tomorrow will be the same, or worse, because you'll be carrying another day of frustration. And here goes a hard truth. No one is going to save you. No one is going to show up to solve your life. You can have support, you can have help, but at the end of the day, it's you who needs to make it happen. It's you who has to make the decision and take control. Is it difficult? Of course it is. But who said it would be easy? The question is, are you willing to do what is necessary? Or are you going to continue letting life take you wherever it wants? Now pay attention to this. Opportunities don't knock on your door. They appear for those who are ready to see them. If you're standing with your arms crossed, waiting for something to change, you will remain exactly where you are, because the world doesn't stop for you. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It keeps moving forward. And if you don't keep up, you get left behind. Is that what you want? To be left behind, watching others advance while you wonder what went wrong? I don't think so. I think you want more. So why are you still standing still? Maybe you think it's too late, that the chance has already passed. It's not. It's never too late to start over, but every day you waste makes things harder. Not because time runs out, but because you lose energy, lose confidence, lose the habit of believing in yourself. And that's dangerous. Don't let that happen. Don't let another day pass without you taking the next step, even if it's small, even if it seems insignificant. Because believe me, the small steps are the ones that matter most. They are what, when added together, create something big. Look, I'm not here to convince you of anything. That's up to you, but I'm here to remind you of one thing. You have a choice. You always have. It doesn't matter what happened before. It doesn't matter how many times you failed or given up. What matters is what you do now. Because now is all you have. The past is gone, and the future depends on your decisions at this very moment. So stop looking back. Stop thinking about what could have been and start building what can still be. Life is not about waiting for things to be perfect. It's about making the best out of what you have, and you have more than you think. You have strength. You have ability. You have choices. What's missing is believing in that and taking action, because no one is going to believe for you. No one is going to live for you. That's all yours. And until you understand that, you'll stay in the same place. Do you want to stay in the same place, or do you want more? The choice is yours. It always has been. Now, let me ask you a question. What would you do today if you knew you couldn't fail? If you had the certainty that you would succeed? You know the answer. And you know what else? You don't need that guarantee. What you need is to take the first step even without it. If you're still here listening to this, it means that, deep down, something has already started to move inside you. Maybe it's a mix of discomfort and hope. It's enough. That's what you need to start. Now listen, life isn't going to hand you anything on a silver platter. Things won't fall into your lap just because you want them to. What you want is not the starting point. What you do is, and that's something no one can do for you. The biggest trap we fall into is waiting. I'll start on Monday, when I have more time, when everything is calmer. Stop that. This whole perfect moment story is a lie. There will never be an ideal time, never a perfect scenario. What you have is now. What you do with it is what defines everything. Every decision you postpone, every step you fail to take, is a piece of life that you're giving up. And tell me, why? Because of fear, insecurity, complacency? If it's for any of these reasons, they are not good enough excuses to justify your inertia. Fear is constant. It's there, in everyone, in every situation. It won't vanish, won't magically disappear just because you want something different. And you know what else? It doesn't need to disappear. You don't need to get rid of fear to start. You just need to decide that you will do it, despite fear. Because that's what sets you apart. It's not the absence of fear, it's the courage to act even with it there, whispering in your ear that you can't make it. Ignore it. Do it anyway. I want you to imagine this. A year from now, you could still be exactly where you are right now, living the same things, feeling the same frustrations, carrying the same regrets. Or, a year from now, you could be in a completely different place, closer to what you want, more aligned with who you really are. The difference between these two realities is what you decide to do today. Not tomorrow, not when it seems easier. Today. You don't need to start big. No one starts big. You just need to start. Small, hesitant, insecure, it doesn't matter. What matters is the movement. What matters is that from today you are no longer standing still, waiting. The problem with waiting is that waiting becomes a habit. One day turns into a week turns into a month, and before you realize it, years have passed. And do you know what hurts the most? It's not the time that passed. It's looking back and realizing that you could have done more, that you let chances, moments, opportunities slip away. Don't let this happen to you. You already know what you need to do. Deep down you know it doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to be a detailed plan, it just needs to be a start. Don't complicate it. Don't make excuses. Just start. And when you stumble, because you will stumble, get up, continue. Because that's how it works. Every time you get up, you get stronger. Every time you move forward, you get closer. Do you think you don't have time? That you don't have energy? Let me tell you something, no one has time. Time is something you make, not something you find. If it's important to you, you find a way. And if it's not, you find an excuse. What's your choice? Will you keep saying that it's not possible, that you can't, that it's not the right time? Or will you decide that it's important enough to make it happen? I'm not here to be kind, to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to remind you of what you already know, but might have forgotten, that life doesn't wait, that you have a choice, that you are capable. It doesn't matter what they told you. It doesn't matter what you believe about yourself. You can. You have everything in you that you need to turn the game around. You just need to decide. You just need to act. If you have come this far, it's because you know something needs to change. You felt it all along while listening to each word. It's no wonder you're still here. You've already realized that the time for waiting has ended. The moment to act is not tomorrow, nor when everything seems easier. It's now. Because your life is not going to change on its own. The future you desire will not appear while you stand still. What changes your life is you. So, let's be direct. What are you going to do today? Not in a little while, not when you turn this off now. What is within your reach at this moment? It doesn't matter if it's a small step, a timid move, a simple decision. What matters is that it's a beginning. Because starting is what defines everything. It's where things actually change. It's where your story begins to be different. And here is a truth that no one can deny. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. No one knows. No one has all the answers, nor the perfect plan. But what differentiates those who change their lives from those who stay stagnant is simple. The former act. It doesn't matter the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty. They act, and that is all you need to do. One move at a time, one step at a time, but do it. I know it's not easy. I know there are days when everything seems to fall apart, when you doubt yourself, when the weight of your past choices suffocates you. But you don't need to carry this forever. You don't need to live trapped in regrets or what didn't work out before. What is left in the past does not define what is to come, only you can do that. And what you do now is what determines where you will be tomorrow. That's why I want you to make a simple decision today. Something small but significant. It could be a commitment to yourself, an action you've been putting off, a goal you want to start pursuing. Just start. Make it a priority, because nothing changes until you decide that changing is more important than staying in the comfort zone. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. It will be hard, but it's worth it. You are worth it. I want you to imagine what could happen if you start today. You don't need to imagine a massive transformation or an immediate leap. Imagine small advances. Imagine the feeling of knowing that you are in control, that you are doing something for yourself. It's one step at a time, but each step takes you further than staying still. And before you know it, you'll look back and see how much you've progressed. Now here's my request. Share with me what you felt while listening to this. Write in the comments what touched you the most. Tell me what struck a chord with you, what you will start to change from today. Because when you put it into words, you commit yourself, and that's the first step. So leave your comment. I want to know. I want you to hear yourself through what you write. And if this content made sense to you, if it touched you in some way, subscribe to the channel now. This is more than just a symbolic gesture. It's a commitment to continue on this path of reflection, action, and transformation. Each video, each message here is to remind you of your potential, to give you that push that we sometimes need. So click on subscribe. Do it for yourself. Leave your like. Not because I'm asking, but because it shows that you are engaged, that you are present, that this made sense to you. And more, it helps other people find this message. People who just like you need to hear this today. It's a way to spread something that can make a difference. So leave the like now. What we are talking about here is not about changing your life overnight. It's about taking control, making decisions, getting out of inertia. It's about being honest with yourself and recognizing that you can do more, that you deserve more, that the life you want begins when you decide it is possible, and that decision starts now. Don't delay any longer. Don't let fear stop you. You already have everything you need inside you. You just need to act. So tell me, what will be your first step? Write in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to hear these words. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Together we can build a space where these reflections help you go further, be more, live more. This is the invitation. This is your call to action. Subscribe, comment, and leave your like. Now it's up to you. What will you do from today onwards? The choice is yours, the change is yours, and the time to act is now.